coincidentally, the two sets which I picked up in my slot were somewhat close to the sets which I've experienced in Dashcat 9 to Dashcat 15. I also told my peers as well, people around me, that Dashcat 9 to Dashcat 15 were something which were actually very close to the CAT 23 exam.
Hello everyone, welcome to Cracku interview series. Today we have Unnat with us. He's one of our Cracku student who scored 99.96 percentile in CAT 2023. So hi Unnat, how are you?
Ma'am, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good, ma'am.
Great. So can you please introduce about yourself briefly? Like currently, what are you studying? What have you studied? How much you have scored in your 10th, inter, and all.
So right now I'm in my final year of law from Nalsar, Hyderabad.
Great.
My academic trajectory has been a bit off with respect to my choices till now. So in 10th, I scored a 10 CGPA and then I went for JEE prep, but it didn't go as per what I planned for. And then I took a drop to reassess what I shall be doing next. And then I arrived at the decision that okay, I'll look for the other aptitude-based exams such as CLAT and IPMAT. So I got through IPMAT, IPM Rohtak as well back then, but back then 2019 was its first batch. So my family was a bit skeptical about me going over there, which is very valid from their perspective. So I also wrote CLAT. I got through Nalsar, so I thought of going for law as my graduation, and then MBA was always my final aim, be it while I was preparing for JEE or during my law graduation as well. And in during my law school as well, throughout the 5 years of my course, most of my internships were management focused only, so that I am pretty sure of me going for management, and that's not a decision made in haste. And yeah, so my 12th was a bit off because I was preparing for JEE. I couldn't do much. I scored 75.4%, but okay, I covered it for it in my graduation later on.
Great. So right from intermediate itself, you are, you want to get into CAT. You want to give CAT and you want to get into some top B schools, right? That was really great. Yeah. So, like, how did you manage your time during your college, and how did you manage your preparation? How did you manage both of them simultaneously?
Uh, I was pretty aware of the fact that I would be facing hardships while managing both the aspects. So I started very early upon. I started somewhere around October and November, my full-fledged preparation. Though I purchased Cracku's complete course back in March 2022, but uh, for the next 6 months, I didn't do anything. I thought I'll do something, but I got stuck with internships. I got stuck with my freelancing work. So I did start off really, and my preparation started off somewhere around October or November. So even that was pretty early. I had almost a year to go. So what I used to do is for classes or for breaks where I shouldn't be paying much attention, I used to take my laptop over there because we are allowed to take laptops or my exercise books. So I used to solve RCs or something if there's a 15-minute break in between the classes. And during the lunch break, I used to take a sectional or something. And for the theoretical part where I need to pay attention, where I need to watch lectures or something, that used to happen after my classes got over five in 5 in the evening. And for the mocks as well, all of my mocks were usually took place somewhere around 4:30 or 5 to 7. But again, I got the morning slot for the CAT exam. So on 7th of November, we were told that okay, this is your slot. So I started waking up early. I took almost all the mocks every day till the CAT exam in the morning slot. That was difficult to juggle between college and CAT, but I mean, that's management. You need to manage stuff. So,
Management is all about managing all the things. Great.
yeah.
Impressive. So, did you give CAT in 2022 as well?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. So straight away from October onwards, you started preparing and rigorously were practicing for the next 1 year. right?
Yeah.
Great, great. Okay. So initially, I mean, I think when you have started in October, did you write any mock? And if you, I mean, if you did, then how much did you score?
No, no, no. I gave my first mock, I guess, around February. That was Head Start mock. Head Start mock was released around December, January, but I felt I was underprepared back then. So I took them in February or March. And from there on, I started taking mocks regularly. So for the first 4 to 5 months, my preparation was more quant focused, I guess, because that's how Cracku's schedule was also structured. Because initially, we would be finishing arithmetic and algebra. Then thereon, the intricate parts of VARC or LRDI would be introduced, and the other aspects of quants would be introduced. So my initial prep, I guess around by January, I was done with arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. So
Okay.
February, yeah, along with the daily schedule, I guess it was January when I reached out to Shrikant sir that I have plenty of time at my disposal. So should I go ahead and watch the videos on my own, or should I wait for the schedule to come alongside? So he told me that you can go ahead and finish off at your own pace. So I had a lot of time in January because that was a relaxed semester for us. So I used to study throughout the daytime and relax and do my college stuff in the evening time. So I got done with geometry, algebra, arithmetic by January. Number system and other minute parts were done by February. And thereon I started dealing with VRC and LRDI
Okay.
and
Great.
started taking mocks as well.
Okay. So in the first mock, how much did you get?
I guess I got somewhere around 40 or late 40 or early 50s. My VRC score was in single digits, I guess. My LRDI score, I got through one or one and a half set. And because I was more quant focused till then, I got through some arithmetic and algebra questions. So that pushed up my score. But VRC, clearly remember that was in single digits.
Okay. Okay. Great. So what are some mistakes that you have made in the initial days of your crack preparation, and how did you learn from them?
I guess, as I mentioned, my initial prep was very quant focused.
Hmm.
So I mean, I was fortunate enough that I realized this by February and or March first. Had it not been that case, I think that would have been turned out to be a blunder. So I guess even in the initial stage, they any aspirant, I would say, should divide their time accordingly for all the three sections because quant is more of a concept based section and there's not much you can do. I mean, if you look at the past few years of CAT, the 99th percentile mark was somewhere around 27 to 30. This time it dropped even below. So, I mean, the paper is that tough, you cannot cross 30 on a normal day until unless it's an exceptional day for you or you are exceptional at QA. So for someone like me, for a non-engineer, and that too from a law background, I think uh, the return of investment in quants is not that high as compared to what VARC and LRDI can give you. So LRDI on any day, if you get through two sets, you are sure of getting around 30 marks. VARC, you can push it up to 45 or 48. So, I mean, if we start investing time very early upon to these two sections as well, so the scores would skyrocket in the initial mocks as well. So that is something which I think I should have realized during the initial part of my prep, but never mind. I got through it during some November, February or March.
Oh, great. But you had enough of time to cope up as well, right? When you have already realized from March itself. So you have really a good amount of time to practice as well. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So then how come you got to know about Krakow?
And I started researching about. I mean, my idea of any aptitude exam prep is I'll put in my effort. I need guidance and I need quality material. So these were the parameters and mocks as of course. So these were the parameters which were very important for me. So I did a lot of research, a lot of third party website reviews and stuff. people insights from the previous year students, and thereon I arrived at the decision that okay, Cracku offers everything from OMIT prep to topic test. And I mean, I saw the offerings of the study room. There were numerous questions. And I mean, if I would prepare for 2 years, I don't think I would able to complete that question bank. That is something which was a deal breaker for me.
Okay. Okay. So how often did you take mocks?
Initially, I guess it was once a week because once I was done with my syllabus around March and April, so my preparation was more anchored toward mock taking because for me mock was not only about getting accustomed to solving 66 questions in a time limit, but it was more of getting 66 questions per day. So mock was also a question source of question for me. So on days I would keep mock as my strategy element, but on other days, where in the later part of my prep, I guess somewhere around July or August, I started taking mocks more frequently because they were a source of question bank for me. Because if I go on searching some four RCs or eight VA alone, that would and solving them, I wouldn't able to solve them in 40 minutes. But in the mock, I would at least see them for in the 40-minute time period and then analyze them. So it used to give me a lot of insights as to how I am thinking during the time frame. So I increased my frequency of mocks towards the end of my prep. One mock per day or one mock in 2 days, like that.
So, okay. So during your preparation, are there any situations where you felt demotivated? If yes, then how did you overcome that?
Would every motivation count in this for this question? I mean, because I'm a law student and no one around me was preparing for CAT or any other aptitude exam. So it was always me versus me. I was studying alone in my room. I was solving mock. I was analyzing them. I had no one to talk to about it. So around me while I was studying, it gets easier once you have someone beside your room or you go to a coaching institute or physically you have someone to talk to. But being from an absolute different background and a very isolated university, which is some 40 kilometers away from the city. So it was very difficult in that sense. I mean, psychologically, it was very difficult to get in the zone and remain in the zone always. So, I mean, obviously, some low scoring mocks and some very difficult sectionals would bring down my confidence. But yeah, I had this feeling in the hindsight that okay, this is a process. This is a process. So I always kept saying myself that this is a process. This will get over. This will get over. So yeah.
That was really great. So basically, you're from the law background, right? So I think you have assessed most of your remarks and you know what are your strength areas and your weak areas. So can you please tell me what are your strength areas and weak areas and how did you overcome all the weaknesses that you had?
So I mean, I what I personally feel is with every mock, you get a different aspect of your strategy. For instance, if there's a mock where arithmetic and algebra is being heavily tested, that would be my strong area. But if geometry and number is being tested, that I wouldn't be able to score good in that mock. So more than this section-wise strategy, my strategy was topic-based, sort of. So for VARC, for instance, the only strategy for VARC was I would be attempting as many questions as I can because unless I attempt the questions, my accuracy would be somewhere around 75 to 80% in VRC. So
Mhm.
until unless I increase my attempts, there's no chance I would be crossing that 40 mark barrier. And for VRC again, the only thing which is important is analyzing the options. So initially, I used to attend Sally ma'am's lectures, and I saw all of them and I got to know how the options are framed, how one should skim through the passage, note down the important details. So I guess VRC prep wise, it was only a couple of weeks, and rest was mock taking and sectionals. So sometimes that would backfire. Sometimes my scores in VRC would dip. So for instance, there was a patchy period in, I guess, August, and my VRC scores were dipping continuously. what I did is for the next 15 days, I continuously took 15 sectionals. Cracku, I got done with all the sectionals in that period. And
Okay.
my scores then got stabilized. And in that process, I learned a lot as to how the options are being framed, what is my mindset. I even reached out to Shrikant sir back then that my accuracy in RC is not improving as to the level I expect it to be. So he even asked me to analyze the options. So I went through the options again. I got to know a lot of insights. So the VRC part was done. So VRC was about attempting as many questions as I can.
Okay.
For LRDI, as Maruti sir has always suggested, pick up the sets which you're comfortable with. So
Mhm.
that was the only strategy I used to follow in the actual CAT exam as well, or in the mocks. My first goal was to get one set correct and cross the sectional cutoff, and then get the second set correct and cross the 99th percentile mark. It used to happen sometime, it used to backfire sometimes. Sometimes I couldn't solve even one set, so that was a process in itself again. But I mean, uh, my LRDI was a section which has troubled me to the till the last mock. Even in Dashcat 15, I think I scored 7 marks in LRDI.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So LRDI was something because at the end of the day, it's about one error of judgment and you are done for that section.
Exactly.
LRDI was a section which troubled me a lot, but I used to reassure myself that it will be fine. In the main exam, I'll pick up the right set. And coincidentally, the two sets which I picked up in my slot were somewhat close to the sets which I've experienced in Dashcat 9 to Dashcat 15.
Oh, great. Mm-hmm.
I also told my peers as well, people around me, that Dashcat 9 to Dashcat 15 were something which were actually very close to the CAT 23 exam.
Okay.
Quant was very tough. So for in the CAT exam, I I don't I didn't feel like that is altogether a new paper because for the last 6 to 7 marks, I was already in the habit of picking up 8 to 9 questions and solving them with 100% accuracy. So it was not a new thing for me. So even though it was a tough paper, I don't think that bothered me a lot. And for LRDI as well, the sets were a bit open-ended, but that's what the later mocks were about. So I was very comfortable with that fact. And VRC again, it was about attempts. So I used to attempt the way I was. I mean, I strategized my mocks as well. So
Great, great. So, okay, Unnat, how did you find the overall CAT exam experience?
it was. I mean, because I already took a lot of mocks, so it was nothing as such very new for me. And I entered with the same mindset as to what I've been doing till now in plenty of mocks. I'll be doing the same thing. I'll not do anything new. So that was the only thing I used to tell myself. I told myself right before the start of the examination. And VRC went as per my plan. I almost attempted all the questions with decent accuracy. When I moved to LR section, I was already prepared for the fact that I'll be attempting one set for the sectional cutoff, one set for the 99 percentile. So once I was through two sets, I was left with 6 minutes, but I decided to give myself a break to chill out, enjoy the entire exam atmosphere while everyone is panicking around me. So that was something which I gave it to myself and prepare myself for the quant section. And because it was slot one for me, so I needed myself to be in the most active state, mind state. So once the quant section started, I saw that the questions are, I mean, from my familiar topics, but difficult level. So I started cherry picking the questions which I was extremely sure of. I attempted them. I got most of them correct. Did not attract any negative marking because the ones I got incorrect were theta.
Okay.
That was the thing. So it was more of a mock experience rather than an actual CAT experience.
Okay. So initially, you know that you're going to, get 99 above percentile.
But I knew I would do something good by the month of September, October because my mock scores were decent, and so I knew if I because I panic a lot. So My only concern was if I keep my nerves in control, I'll do well. If that doesn't happen, if I don't stick to the plan, if I deviate from the fundamentals of the topic, then my CAT exam would be screwed. So
When people are mostly panicking around you, you are just in chill mode, right? That was really
because we
great.
took a lot of mocks, so I mean the net practice was extensively done. I was not worried about the main maths.
That was really great. Okay. So, any business schools that you are targeting with this score? I mean, basically, what is your main goal? What is your dream B school?
I would prefer going to Ahmedabad or FMS Delhi. These two schools are very close to what I've been dreaming of. But yeah, I mean, right now I'll try to convert all the calls which I get and then be in a better position to assess as to what shall be done and what would be good for my future.
Oh, that was really great. Okay. So, how did Cracku help you in your preparation altogether, and what all, I mean, what all things that you like in Cracku that really helped you a lot in your preparation?
For the first thing happened to be the videos by Siley ma'am. So my fundamentals, and this is something which I learned from her, that if you deviate from the fundamentals of any topic, you won't be able to solve any question. So be it her lectures on geometry or something, there was always one line at the end which she used to say that this theorem is there, but you can always do this by using the basics of the concept or basics of geometry. So there's something which I took very personally, and even for the CAT examination and the last 2 3 days, I didn't revise the formulas per se. I used the revision videos just to go through the concept that okay, this was there, this was there, this was there. But I didn't specifically pinpoint or memorize any formula because my question solving was never based upon any formula because I mean there's no formula per se actually for arithmetic, algebra or something. There's no intricate or mathematical formula. It's more of your aptitude or your practice as to what has been done or what hasn't been done. So this was something which I learned from Siley ma'am, and of course the question bank, extensive question bank, whatever topic I would be practicing, it was on me that okay, today I need to practice two LRDI sets from scheduling or something. So Cracku gave me that liberty to work on my areas and practice questions as and when I need to. And third aspect was mocks. I would say on record again that it was because of mocks that CAT 23 seemed like another paper to me. So, I mean, these 3 points were hold immense value in my CAT prep.
Okay. And what about your doubts and mentorship? Did that also help?
So I was constantly in touch with the mentors, and the doubt solving process was also very neat, I would say. You post the queries and they would be answered within, say, a day or two. So, I mean, that was very neat. And and for me, for a person like me, I try to first solve the doubt on myself. I give myself a 2 or 3 day time, and when it's extremely unbearable, then I would, I mean, reach out for help. So that is a process, and the entire mentorship and doubt solving mechanism used to fit perfectly as to what I wanted.
That was really great. Okay. In the month of September and October, we started also releasing the recorded, the revision videos, right? Yeah, yeah. So did you also follow them? Like all the 100 questions that we used to post? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So, I mean, my the end of my prep was more focused towards strengthening my already strong areas and mock taking. So I used to follow the revision videos and the notes on Cracku and take the mock. So I mean, it was more of my mental preparation rather than conceptual preparation. So these things used to amp up my intensity for the examination and keep the spirits high so that I don't get burnt out till the examination.
Okay. Great, great. So finally, is there anything that you want to tell to the, you would like to tell to the CAT aspirants?
And my suggestion would be to stick to the basics, because CAT being an aptitude exam and the changes which we have witnessed over the last couple of years, there's no way I think anyone can sail through the examination without having a strong grip on the basics. Because there's a lot of superficial stuff or very flamboyant stuff on the internet. But I mean, once you get hold of the basics right, and then go on taking the mocks and building up your stamina, that would be the process which actually helps, rather than going here and there and searching for different out of the world questions or something. Because I mean, at the end of the day, even CAT 23 was an examination where the questions were somewhat near to the mocks or sectionals which we have already taken. So rather than going around and searching for some out of the world content or some magical content, it's better to focus on the fundamentals again and again. So this is something which I learned through my mentors, and I would say I would advise the upcoming aspirants as well.
Okay, okay, great. So nice speaking to you, Unnat, and all the very best for your interviews and all. Okay, then. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.